The year was 1993. 90 million people held their breath as Oprah Winfrey stepped into the magical world of Neverland Ranch. The stage was set for what would become the most watched interview in television history. But behind those perfectly framed camera shots and rehearsed questions lay a story that few people know. For 14 long years, the king of pop had been a mystery. Wrapped in headlines and speculation, Michael Jackson, the man who moonwalked into our hearts, had completely disappeared from the interview circuit. No cameras, no questions, no explanations. The world was desperate to hear from him. Then came Oprah. She wasn't just any interviewer. She was a force of nature who had revolutionized daytime television. But even she wasn't prepared for what was about to unfold. As she would later reveal, her knees were literally shaking as she prepared to introduce the show. Meanwhile, Michael, he was the picture of calm, welcoming her with the iconic sounds of Thriller echoing through his personal wonderland. But here's what the cameras didn't capture. Before that historic broadcast, there were negotiations. Secret deals were made. Michael agreed to bare his soul. But with one condition: his sexuality was strictly off limits. Everything else fair game. And bare his soul he did. For the first time ever, Michael addressed the wild rumors that had been swirling around him. Remember those tabloid stories about him sleeping in an oxygen chamber? False. The claims that he purchased the Elephant Man's bones? Never happened. One by one, he dismantled the myths that had defined him in the public eye. What made this interview truly extraordinary wasn't just the revelations. It was the raw humanity on display. Here was Michael Jackson, arguably the most famous person on the planet, inviting us into his world, showing us his vulnerabilities, his truths, and yes, even his pain. Think about it. In an age before social media, before celebrities could control their narratives through Instagram posts and Twitter feeds, this was a rare moment of unfiltered access to a legend. For those 90 minutes, the world saw Michael not as the king of pop, but as a human being, complex, misunderstood, and finally ready to share his story. That February night changed everything. It wasn't just an interview. It was a cultural moment that showed us the power of authentic conversation, the weight of truth, and the courage it takes to face your critics head-on. Both Michael and Oprah made history that night, but more importantly, they showed us that sometimes the most powerful stories are the ones that were hidden all along.